We are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft podcast. We are back here with the second edition today, as this is episode number 47. I am joined by the voice of the ring himself, David Adams. How's it going, brother?
Uh, Great, bro. Thanks for having me on. All about respecting the craft. We're gonna have a good time tonight, man.
No, definitely. It felt a little weird though. You're usually the one announcing everyone. I was like, finally, I get to announce him.
Yeah, let's reverse the rules. I like that a lot. Oh yeah,
But how's everything going, man? How you been?
things have been good. I mean, ups and downs in personal life, like whatever, but doing good. Still standing tall.
Hey, that's the best thing, right? So
Absolutely.
before we get into everything, again, we have a lot to go into today because we're also going to be previewing this Saturday's Titan Championship Wrestling event as they are presenting Rise of the Titans. But before we get into that, again, the show is called Respect the Craft here. So I have to ask you, when you hear that term, the craft, what does that mean to you?
Well, pro wrestling is an art form. Uh, you know, you hang out with everybody's hung out with that group or that person that's like, you're into that wrestling stuff, like that fake stuff with the spandex. But that same person might really appreciate going and seeing a ballet or a Broadway play. I mean, it's just a different art form. It's really the same concept as a Broadway play. People go to a venue. They buy a ticket. They're there to see a spectacle. They want to see a show. They want to see something that's larger than life. So I think it's just basically about perspective. Like wrestling is an art form. It's a craft, not to pull the, curtain back too much, but I think most people know, there's a lot of athleticism. There's some choreography behind it. And there's a whole lot of trust. The competitors, the people facing each other need to trust each other with their lives. And I think it all goes into the art form, everything from the announcers to the commentators, to the referees, to the, stars themselves, the lighting, the music, the entranceway. Everything is building to give the paying fan, they're paying their 10, 20, 30, 40, $50, whatever, or more. They're paying their hard-earned money to see an event. And it's, it's like, bit larger than life, better than a movie, the whole shebang, the whole 5-ring circus, as I like to say.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
And here we go. We got Wes and Kyle in the chat. They're definitely showing their love
Hey,
over
Wes,
supporting independent wrestling. We'll definitely be seeing them Saturday, hopefully. So can't wait for that.
I know. I've been with Wes, trying to get him out to House of Glory eventually too. I told him the subway is only like a block away, so I might have him on that one. But yeah, him and Kyle are, from what I've been told, they're pretty psyched. So that they travel, and that's like two of our fans. They travel an hour and a half, and I know that he's traveled a lot further for shows as well. But when our fans travel an hour and a half, gas being $5 a gallon, it means a lot. As performers, I mean, and we're announcers or whatnot, but I know the wrestlers feel the same way. When fans such as that come out to the events, it means a lot to us because travel is like a real expense now. It's not just $10 doesn't get you very far anymore on gas. So I mean, you're not even you're barely getting 2 gallons of gas in most places now. So we really appreciate it. And Wes, look forward to seeing you, Kyle, and the family on Saturday. It's going to be a really good time.
No, definitely. And I think that's one of the biggest things, like I've been talking about on this podcast, when I see them on here in the comments, is again, that genuine love for wrestling, having fans like that have that support. Because again, sadly, some of the times we see it gets clouded by the smarky comments, people that are just trying to say they know it all in the business. So seeing actual fans still have that love and support for what we do in the craft, and having, again, the love for everything, because again, they show support for the announcers, for the wrestlers, everything in the like you said, the shebang of it all, everything between. It's what you love to see, and it brings that joy into the craft that we do here. But again, before we get into Titan Championship Wrestling, I do want to bring up, it has been a while that I have known you, David, because I want to say first time I got to see you was around the PWS era. Getting to see those shows.
2012, 2013 esque. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it definitely has. And again, from there, transitioning to Hog, and the list continues. Sure. So it's definitely been great to know you these years, and again, see how it's continued with you with ring announcing and everything, all the roles you've played. I got to ask for that, what was it that brought you in wanting to do ring announcing for shows?
Well, it's always been something I've loved. Like even as a child, I always really idolized, and I've told this to lots of podcasts and lots of people in the business. I always idolized Howard Finkel, the tuxedo, the stature, and his voice was monotone, but it was like explosive, where he never, it seemed like he wasn't trying at all, but there was a certain craft behind his art form where you knew that he was an expert in his craft, and it just made everything fantastic. And as a kid growing up, like I literally would stand in front of the TV with like shampoo bottles and the back of like a hairbrush, and I would emulate him with like, pretend like that was my microphone. I had my dolls, my teddy bears. I would use them as like a crowd, and and I've told people I tried to wrestle in high school. I wasn't very good. I was loyal. I was dedicated. I had a horrible win-loss record. I got 2 varsity matches, and I just knew that I probably, my love of wrestling would continue, but my athleticism to become a pro wrestler probably wasn't going to be there. And I mean, I was okay with that from an early age, leaving high school, went to college, and eventually it was just the confidence to go and do it. I think that was the hardest thing for me, was just, you can go drink beers with your friends, like, yeah, I'm going to be a ring announcer. And you can, I used to be the highlight of parties. We'd get drunk and people would be like, yo, this kid announces. And they would be like, Stone Cold, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, announce it now. They would just pick random shit and I would just announce it. So, I mean, obviously that was entertaining at a point there, but then there comes a point where you're like, all right, now I'm having fun in a basement drinking beers. How can I actually make this happen? And that's that's a real challenge within itself, getting, the attention of promoters, trying to break that very thick inner circle of professional wrestling. Inner circle isn't just a catchy term that Chris Jericho came up with. It really is. There is an inner circle and sanctity of trying to, get in, so you're viewed as someone that belongs backstage and not someone that's, well, shouldn't you be on that side of the guardrail? Like, there really is, transition, because we all start as fans, we all start as marks, and what, I'm still a mark to a point. It's just, as you become a professional, you learn to channel that markishness, and it turns more into a self-respect, self-gratitude. Like, to myself, I'm like, this is freaking cool that I get to announce a lot of the people that I grew up, watching on television, and they treat me as a peer and not just as somebody that's like waiting for a photo or autograph type deal. So I think that's where that comes in. So like, don't let anybody fool you. It's okay to be a mark, but it's how you go about it. Don't go bother them when they're working a show. If they're trying to make their $50 on their meet and greet, let them make their money. Maybe go ask them backstage after they've made their money, after the show is done, after the pressure's off. I think that's the appropriate times. But as far as, just wanting to be a ring announcer, I mean, I found that I wanted to find my niche in the business, and where it wasn't about me, but I was like, if I can't be the star, I'm going to be the guy that I'm going to hype up all the stars. So it's like, it worked out good. You can't be one star, but you can hype up all the stars. And, people appreciate that. I've been told, I've had people grab me afterwards and tell me that they appreciated me hyping up, even to hype up their merch, hype up. Dude, I could hear you in the ring. You were at commentary hyping up my move. Dude, you remember the name of my finishing move. I didn't even tell anybody that. I put it online. I'm like, well, I read your post online and I put it as a note. So, they appreciate it when you actually take the, the extra measures, the unpaid part. You go online and study it up, know their moves, because they put a lot of heart and soul into their craft. And when they see that you give a shit, then they realize, all right, that's what's up. And, people know David Adams is on the show. You need me as an announcer, that's cool. You need me as a commentator, cool. Backstage interviewer, cool. I've said it a million times, everything but the wrestling, because it's been proven that I'm not very good at that.
And again, I love that you do have that cadence to you, though. When you do whatever it is that you're doing, you add that little bit of, again, your voice to it. Again, there's a reason why the nickname was given right there, the voice of the ring right there. Yeah. And when you hear it again, even especially for when it's the main event time, you bring that certain cadence that's like, especially when they know, oh, David's here, we're going to hear it. The Who's Got Time. Again, it's just that it's such a, it's your trademark now.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I was nervous about that. Like I made that up before I even did my first show in January 2011. I was sitting at home. Well, because I used to go to a lot of shows, buy a ticket and be a fan. And I noticed sometimes, and it's not uncommon, a lot of times the psychology of building a card is sometimes you'll have a lesser match just before the main event, for a lot of people that don't know, building a card is a psychological tool as well. It's a roller coaster. And sometimes, not always, I've seen the co-main event be as good as, if not better than the main event. But sometimes you'll have that slow match just before the main, and then people don't know that the show's over. And I would see people headed towards the doors, or, if a show goes past 10 or 11, sometimes you're going to lose a crowd because there's families. But I figured, why don't we just tell everybody, hey, who's got time for one more match? And there you go. I can't make it any more obvious than that. And I tried to put a little bit of showmanship into it. And I didn't even know if it was going to take, but I did it on the first show. And honestly, when I broke in 2011, nobody said that's effing stupid, stop doing it. So I did it on the second show, third show. And now I'm at like 512 shows now. So I'm a grizzled vet, and they keep letting me say it. So unless it doesn't fit the flow, sometimes your main event gets fast-tracked where, if, the performers will already be in the ring. You got to cut that shit out and just get right into it. That happens to me a lot of House of Glory when we're doing like Fight TV and stuff like that. And that's good. You have to be because that probably wouldn't work. If I could ever make it to WWE or AEW or Ring of Honor or one of those platforms, that probably won't work, especially because everything is so time-oriented to the second. So it works for the indies for now. And, until we get to a higher level where they're like, takes too much time, man, time is money, then I'll cut it out then. But yeah, if you appreciate it and they appreciate it, I'll just keep doing it.
No, definitely, man. Again, I feel like that also, it definitely does that job of waking the crowd up and getting them like ready to go. But let's keep it going here. We got some comments as well. Hey, we got the boss man himself, Charlie, saying, what's up?
Hi, Charlie.
And here we go. We got a comment here. Hey, they're calling you the Howard Finkel of the Indies here. A good says here.
That's the comments. That's fantastic. Well, thank you. Yeah, honestly, I've told people I've had a chance to meet Mr. Finkel 4 times before he passed away. May he rest in peace. And I'll tell you real quick to make a long story short. First time I met him, I was working a convention. I was like 6 months in. Nobody knew who I was. I tried to get an interview from him, and I was marking out, and I probably looked like it. He had his bag ready to leave the convention, go to the airport, and he politely turned me down, said he has a Hall of Fame contract with WWE, and he can't give interviews. But I asked him for advice, and he's like, just keep being you. Don't try and be me. Just try and be the next you. The second time I met him, he remembered me. But the third time I met him, he remembered me as a peer and took me aside, and we talked. Hi, SP. And
wait a second. I'm sorry to cut you off, David, but
SP's creeping on us.
I was gonna say, how do you get into our convo here?
I can go anywhere that I want to because I'm the general manager, and that's just the way it is, brother.
He's got passwords.
Okay, because
about building a card, Mr. Adams. I heard a little card discussion.
I was saying how building a card, I was like, not to pull the curtain back too far, but building a card is an art form. Yeah, it's an art form as far as the roller coaster that is professional wrestling, giving the fans the highs and lows. And a lot of people don't realize that there is an art form, and there has been many arguments backstage between promoters and higher ups about match order. Whenever you see a show, just know that there was a large discussion in play as far as the order of the matches. And there's a reason.
So much goes into considering like what the order is going to be on a card, and then you got to deal with guys who like have to get out of town quick, or that have a long ride home, or that got there late, or Wes. Look at Wes. That's right.
Gotta love it. Again, it's that fan involvement. You always want that.
Yes.
But
yes.
Well then. Well, I guess now that we have the GM here, I guess it's no better time than now.
How we doing? All right, Brady, what's going on? Mr. Adams, it's good to see you.
It's been a while. Good to see you, sir. Everything is well on the home front?
Everything's great, dude. Can't complain.
Awesome, dude. I'm glad to hear it.
Awesome. Well, SP, thank you for coming on. I guess now is better time than never. Let's start talking some Titan Championship Wrestling. Again, we have a show to talk about this Saturday. It's going to be live from the Sports Adrenaline Academy here. Ooh. It's going to be Rise of the Titans. Let's jump in here.
That's a fancy graphic. I like it.
It definitely is.
We want to start with your buddy Anthony getting going, I guess.
Why not? Let's start with the talk of the town here, because again, it's finally happening. Yes. SP, finally, you've made a right choice here and given a well-deserved title match.
Well, he was gonna get a title match after he beat McIntosh anyway. I didn't like the way he beat McIntosh, but I was gonna make him the #1 contender for the heavyweight championship. And then he had to come out and destroy a match that I worked my ass off trying to get together. When we got TJ Marconi in against Johnny Moran, a match everybody wanted to see for months and months now. Everybody said it would never happen. We made it happen, and then Anthony Gangone's got to get his ass involved. And well, it's because Johnny wanted him. That's why the match is happening. I didn't do it because I think that he deserves a title shot right now. From a standpoint of his record at Titan, yes, he deserves a title shot, but I don't generally reward people that go about things in that manner. But Johnny wants him, so I decided since I put Johnny in there against TJ that I'd give him Gangone since he wants him, and that's what our main event's going to be. So,
well, then again, you said it best. His record shows it, though.
yeah.
So again, I feel like you have to give it to Dr. Sleep. He kind of felt cheated there. Again, an old friend of his, an old ally, old enemy, kind of skipped the line. I get it. Your job as the general manager is to create dream matches like that. Again, everyone wanted to see Public Enemy get a title shot. He calls himself the rightful Titan wrestling champion.
We haven't seen the last of him.
Oh.
He's gonna have his day with whoever the champ is. If it's Johnny Moran, if it's Gangone, we haven't seen the last of Public Enemy #1 in Titan. Just to
that's always great to hear.
Good.
You always want to see TJ Marconi on a card.
Good for business.
Going to show up because a lot of friendships are maybe being remended this week and stuff. So you never know what might happen at Titan Championship Wrestling.
Friends forever. Freaking pro wrestling, man. What a freaking shit show. Sorry, I just had to put that out there.
Hey, that's what you want to see, though. But again, I'm looking forward to this matchup. We heard Gangone's comments. We heard Johnny Moran's comments. It's definitely going to be a fight. But I got to ask you, SP, are you going to be putting the stripes for this one?
I am, actually. I had such a good time last show. And I don't know, maybe I'm getting a little power hungry. But I enjoy being back in the stripes. I like doing it at Titan. I'm still the general manager. I'm still calling things from a business perspective on that end. But what better way to make sure that things go the right way than to put the stripes on and do it myself? Not that Pat doesn't do a great job. Pat does a great job.
Envelope, and he wants the zebra envelope. He's trying to get double payday. Don't fool you.
Payday? I'm paying everybody else. Who you kidding?
Well, then the boss man himself, David, cannot sing. So
it's Monsoon. David. He's kicking in. David, please don't sing. Monsoon, Charles Monsoon, the fearless owner of Titan Championship Wrestling.
Well then, but David, your thoughts on this? Again, you know Anthony Gangone very well. You've seen what Johnny Moran has done as champion. Your thoughts on this one before we move on here?
Outside of pro wrestling, I am cool with both these guys. I've never hung out with these guys at the same time, but I've known Anthony Gangone well over a decade. I've known Johnny Moran well over a decade as well. I have the utmost respect for them professionally and personally. The deal is, Anthony Gangone, he's absolutely right. He had a bona fide beef. He never had a title shot. He deserved a title shot. Anthony Gangone, like you pretty much said before, though, he could have gotten that title shot without taking evil tactics. SP said he was going to give him the title shot anyway, but he's so good as a performer that he's worthy of the title shot. There's no question there. This is going to be a phenomenal matchup, and Anthony Gangone, that's what's fueled him for over 10 years in the business. He's always got a grudge. He's always got a beef. He always feels like he's overlooked. And you know what? That fuels him, and that's what's worked for him. That makes him push himself that much harder. He's one of the best in the game. He's very skilled. He's not just a good in-ring athlete and performer. He's a great strategist. Psychologically, he's one of the best around. I mean, he just gets inside your head before the opening bell, as Johnny Moran found proof positive. This match hasn't even happened, and Johnny Moran, he has Anthony Gangone in his mind. He's got a whole rental center in his brain right now. So, I mean, Johnny Moran, I've been there for the whole year. Him and Steve Monster Mac, one of the best rivalries of last year. The storyline build up. Johnny finally wins the title. I told this to Johnny in confidence. Dude, you won the title, but now you got the X. As hard as it was to win the damn thing, keeping it month in and month out is a whole different type of craziness. And a guy like Anthony Gangone, he's relentless. Anthony Gangone isn't afraid to fail, because if he doesn't get you one way, he's going to be lurking in the shadows, and he's going to find a way to get that title. And if Anthony Gangone says he's going to be the TCW heavyweight champion, at some point, he very well may do it. Will it be at Rise of the Titans? Buy your tickets, because time will tell. But yeah, Anthony Gangone may very well be the most dangerous, most dangerous wrestler in Titan Championship Wrestling as of right now.
Definitely, again, and that proof is in the pudding, like they say, because he's already gotten in the head of SP. He had to force his hand and make this match happen. He's gotten in the head of Johnny Moran. Look at the promo we saw today. Johnny Moran showing a different side of the Dark Horse. Maybe this is what SP wanted, though. He wanted the best out of his champions. So I get it.
Iron sharpens iron, man.
Yeah,
well,
no doubt.
Here we go. We got Wes's approval here. Gangone's his and Kyle's guy. Again, I'm gonna stay neutral here for the podcast. So
let me also add. I want to chime in.
Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
Now, keep in mind. Now, Johnny Moran will be listening to this. Johnny, you know how much I respect you. He has been that fighting champion that we knew he would be. So this is not a kick towards Johnny Moran. Just he knows, he's the man, right? He is the man right now. And I think he will be prepared for Anthony Gangone. I've never seen Johnny Moran go into a big fight atmosphere without being mentally prepared to some point. But like I said, this might be a whole new level of cerebral attack that Gangone has taken at this point. And, time's going to tell. And I can't wait till Saturday at the Adrenaline Sports Academy, Toms River, New Jersey. Get your tickets now.
Let's not forget now, Anthony Gangone has had a shot at the Titan Championship twice, right? Let's think about Mount Olympus twice. Who won the first Mount Olympus? Steve Monster.
That was Steve Monster Mac. Yep.
He was the heavyweight champion, wasn't he? Who won the next one?
Johnny
Moran.
Johnny Moran's the heavyweight champion right now, isn't he? So maybe if Gangone had won Mount Olympus, maybe he would have got his shot at the championship sooner.
Well, let's also say it did come down to Johnny Moran and Anthony Gangone as the last two. And Johnny Moran did get the upper hand on Anthony Gangone at one point. Once again, Anthony Gangone failed that night. But Anthony Gangone has been lurking in the shadows. And here we are several months later after that championship win by Johnny Moran. Here we are. And Anthony Gangone is ready once again. And he hasn't forgotten about that loss in the Mount Olympus Rumble. Only one spot away from winning it. Now he gets an opportunity to avenge that loss.
This is his shot. So let's see what he's got. Yep. Let me see.
Definitely.
What you got,
let's keep it going here. Again, guys, link to get your tickets because you're definitely going to want to see that this one is in the description down below. But let's move on to another championship matchup. This championship, even last time I had SP on, we agreed it has become almost the workhorse championship of TCW. Let's talk about that middleweight championship. Currently being held by a Terminator, if you will, the cyborg himself, Rick Recon, who has been holding this championship almost with just an iron grip because he's yet to have a challenger to take it away. And he's defending it here against a man that vows to make this matchup a true banger in Daniel Alexander. Let's talk about this. Again, Daniel Alexander earned his shot at the last Titan Championship Wrestling event. This is definitely going to be a good one. Again, Rick Recon was able to retain at the last show against Colby Carino. And now he has a young upstart here in Daniel Alexander. Your guys' thoughts on this one?
SP first.
A year, I think it was about just now a year ago, Rick had a prison match against Blaze Haram. And he lost that match. But ever since then, he hasn't been the same. He's changed. And I said this last time when we spoke, Ray, when we were talking about him and Colby Carino's match, that I wanted to see Rick take it to that next level. And he had to beat Colby Carino. He had to step up to that next level. And he did. If anyone hasn't seen that match, go check it out. But he did. He took it to that next level. And Alexander now earned his shot at our last show. That same show with Rick and Colby, he earned his shot. So I think he's going to take Rick to a different level because he has a different style, I think, than Rick's used to seeing in the ring. So now we're going to see if Rick can handle Daniel's style more so than the style that like Colby showed or that Blaze Haram showed or that any of these challengers have showed so far, even like Ray Kalitri. It's a completely different style. So I'm really looking forward to this match. Actually, I want to see what Rick's got.
Well, I definitely think he's ready for it because, in my opinion, last year Rick Recon was in a match of the year candidate against Nikos Rikos in that 2 out of 3 falls match that was like a half hour long when he ultimately won the middleweight championship. And this year, it was the last TCW show that I was at. I know I've missed a show, but when he wrestled Azriel in that main event, in that snowstorm, in that capacity-packed house known as the Bayville Elks, that was an amazing match. And Azriel, I mean, the guy's been around like 20 years and he still has it. He's never lost it. And for Rick Recon to come out on top fair and square in that match, that tells me that he's ready for anyone. Like in this case, now you have an equally fast high flyer, but a young upstart, far less experienced than an Azriel. So Rick Recon's the one that's building the momentum. He's gaining the experience. He's the wily grizzled veteran at this point. And right now, I mean, that's his title to lose. He knows that. He's on a roll. And Daniel Alexander, there's no question. It's not that he's going to bring the goods, but he better bring his A game 100% because Rick Recon, he doesn't care. He's firing on all cylinders. And the American Terminator, he's coming at you. He doesn't care if you're young. He doesn't care if you're a veteran. He's going to treat each and every challenge the same because if the general manager has given them the shot, then he knows that they're worthy of it. And he's ready to seek and destroy and terminate anyone that gets in his way of trying to take away that middleweight title.
No, definitely. And I'm definitely looking forward to this one because, again, you have to imagine Daniel Alexander, still a student of the game as well, still very young in his career. He knows the importance of studying his tape, studying his opponent. And again, I can imagine he's watching Rick Recon. He's watching the matchup he just had with Colby Carino. He's watching that amazing matchup with a veteran of the game in Azriel. He's probably watching that inaugural matchup where he won the middleweight championship against Nikos Rikos. That same matchup you just brought up, David. So he has to be studying up because, again, if he really wants a shot at winning this Saturday, he better be ready for an opponent like none other than Rick Recon.
Yeah.
So, but let's keep it going here because this is a matchup I definitely wanted to talk about because it started as just a simple student versus teacher. It was a matchup out of respect. And it grew so far that now this Saturday, I don't know if we can ever go back as one of these two men will be forced to say those dastardly words, I quit.
I quit. That's it. I quit.
Well, SP's gone. I guess we'll be needing a new GM this Saturday.
Goodbye.
Charlie just got really excited. He probably just started dancing around in his living room with his new little puppy.
Well, then.
He quit. He quit.
Well, but again, it's going to be a lot harder than what just SP did here.
Who's going to quit Saturday is the question. Is it going to be Frankie Picard? Is it going to be Ben Castle? I've known Frankie for a long time. I don't see him ever saying I quit about anything. I've never seen him quit anything in his life. Even smoking cigarettes, he can't quit smoking.
No, dedicated.
Rode a horse to the ring once, like, come on. A guy like that doesn't say I quit about anything. But Ben Castle is a tough son of a bitch. He's young.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Ben Castle defeated Frankie Picard at the last event.
He did. Frankie passed out, actually. Yeah, I was right. I think I reffed that match, didn't I?
Yeah, because
I believe so.
That was like a month ago. It's hard for me to remember these things these days with everything going on. But that was a hell of a match, and I'm really looking forward to this because I think Ben, even though he's new to the business, he looks like he's been in the business already for 15 years. Like the way he carries himself in and out of the ring, he's very respectful, but he doesn't take anybody's shit. Pardon my language. I don't know if we have a G rating on the show.
No, you're able to say whatever you want. It's all good.
Hercules.
But yeah, he's a tough son of a bitch, and I'm looking forward to seeing these two guys honestly kick the hell out of each other.
And just to add something to that, you just said that Ben Castle defeated him because Frankie Picard refused to tap out Frankie Picard refused to quit in the referee's presence and he passed out. That should be an interesting point, that if either of these men incapacitate one another to the point where they just refuse to say I quit and they pass out, that could be a referee's judgment call right there. I don't know how the rules go from there, but obviously Frankie Picard doesn't have the I quit mindset. If he's willing just to pass out and lose the match because, well, he can't continue because he's passed out, I mean, that could be reciprocated. Frankie could easily do that to Ben Castle. Time will tell. But you got to be there this Saturday, Adrenaline Sports Academy, TCW, Rise of the Titans. Oh, yeah. Get your tickets now.
Now.
Definitely get your tickets before Friday for those pre-sale prices. You're definitely going to want to get those. But I also have to bring up again, you guys said it. I don't know if I quit is in the vernacular of either of these two.
Yeah.
Again, both are willing to go to war, and they're definitely both looking to have that. Again, you kind of want to make sure you're keeping your ranking in TCW. Again, both can't afford a loss here. When you're looking at everything, again, one of these men want to become that next TCW middleweight champion, heavyweight champion, whatever you will. So I can imagine going into a matchup like this. And again, for Ben Castle, he's still very young in his career as well. He wants to make sure he's on that rise of the Titans. Exactly. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens this Saturday. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And again, for the kids coming to see this show as well, this is not a match for the fray at heart. So maybe go take a little bit of a
hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your sister, hide your girlfriend. Don't bring her around anybody at a wrestling show. Come to see Titan Championship Wrestling, baby, this Saturday, Adrenaline Sports Academy. Let's do it.
There you go. Let's keep it going here, because this is another matchup here. We mentioned him earlier when we talked about the middleweight championship. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about one of our favorites in Titan Championship Wrestling. The Titan Nation loves him. It's Uncle Magic himself, a veteran of the game, a man that's been in this business for nearly 4 decades now. The veteran experience is there. We have Magic taking on Blaze Haram, who Blaze is kind of the opposite of Magic. He is one of the most disliked in Titan Championship Wrestling, and he knows it. He loves that hatred. He feeds off it. And he's vowed in this matchup to make it Magic's last.
You know what's scary? If you look at Magic back in the day, Jersey All-Pro days, kind of reminds me a lot of Blaze. Just the style in the ring. He didn't care. He was out there to hurt people. He would do anything he had to win a match. Blaze is, I think, one of the top heels that we've seen in Titan Championship Wrestling. We haven't seen him for a little while because he's been taking care of some business over in the Middle East, I hear. But he's a dangerous guy, and he doesn't play games. And Magic should definitely be on his toes here, because Blaze is going to bring it. Now, that said, Magic's still got a thing or two to show us in the ring. He's not done by a damn far shot. So Blaze also better remember that Magic might be old in years, but young in I don't know what.
He's not young in anything. He's wise, but that's okay.
It's not young in the buffet line, but you know what I'm saying.
Wrong with being old. With age comes wisdom and experience. And gentlemen, when we were in the heat of the pandemic and we couldn't have any fans at our shows, we had a private VIP show in Delaware at the training academy down there that Magic and Tommy the Moose belonged to. And forget about this match, but it was actually Blaze Haram and Magic in a match. And the match didn't last. It's not very memorable because the match lasted maybe 45 seconds to a minute. Blaze Haram has a loaded boot. He's got those horn boots like Iron Sheik. And those boots have been known to be loaded. And he got the referee distracted. He used the loaded boot and he beat Magic in very controversial fashion. I want to say that there was a fireball involved there as well. It was so long ago and I tried to block it out. But I think that we had to take Magic to hospital because of the fireball, and I'm sure he doesn't want me bringing this up, but at the same time, if that's in Magic's head, Magic has a game plan. That was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, and Magic's had all this time to formulate not just revenge, because he is a professional, but a way to get back at Blaze Haram that's going to hurt him the most. in his pocket, in the ring. A loss equals less money to bring home to his family. And Blaze Haram relies on pro wrestling as a means to feed his family, as a way to ignite his nation to stand behind him. And Magic, I mean, this guy was severely injured at the hands of Blaze Haram, and certainly Magic doesn't want to have his last match against Blaze Haram be a 45-second shenanigans loss. So, the wily veteran Magic, there's nothing young about him, and there's nothing wrong with that. I say that with love, because the man,
young at heart. The man's young at heart.
Yeah, because
he definitely is.
Sure, but Magic, I have a feeling Magic's got a plan for him, and I have a feeling that Magic's going to be partying at the buffet afterwards.
Yeah, I think it involves a big match. Whatever he has planned, it definitely involves a big match.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
No, definitely. And again, it comes with that veteran wise, like his wisdom is definitely going to have him prepared for this matchup. Again, you brought that up, David. I can imagine that's in Magic's head. He's remembering what happened that time ago. He's going to be ready for that happening. And again, the Titan Nation are definitely going to be watching out for Magic's back, because I doubt they're going to want to see this matchup, which again could possibly be Magic's last, end in a turn of events just like that. But again, we'll have to wait and see this Saturday. Again, you're going to want to be there in person, ladies and gentlemen. Get your tickets right now. But also another matchup that you're going to want to go see. And this one is a little bit of a collaborative effort, as Titan Championship Wrestling is working with our good friends at Pro Wrestling Magic to bring you the Pro Wrestling Magic Junior Heavyweight Championship matchup, as it will be a member of Hispanos Unidos, the Brooklyn Outlaw himself, Donovan, defending against Lights Off Steve Off. This one, it's a great matchup here, because not only do you have two guys that at one time were as close as brothers in Kill the Magic, are now facing off here for a championship that Donovan's been making as prestigious in the Magic Kingdom as their world championship. So I know for Donovan, this is going to be a night to not only impress the Titan Nation, but again, bring that championship home for Hispanos Unidos. But I know Steve Off is looking to not only make his debut for TCW, but walk out with some gold. Your guys' thoughts on this fight right here?
I'm actually talking to the Pro Wrestling Magic general manager, Mr. Shane Fair, right now. We set this thing up as a showcase match, because that's what we've been doing lately. We've been doing some showcases with some other companies, and I'm really impressed with Steve from watching him over the years. And Donovan's actions speak for themselves. He's a hell of a wrestler in the ring, and he's their champion, their junior heavyweight champion. So, what better than to showcase their championship match on our show?
Definitely. There you go. David, your thoughts on this one?
Well, Pro Wrestling Magic has been putting on unbelievable shows for so many years now. I mean, under the tutelage of their general manager, Shane Fair, a tremendous ring announcer and a showman in his own right, I think it's great that he's reached out to you. And I like to see more independent promotions partnering up. There's always that healthy competition between promotions to make money, to draw, fans. But when you can work together in a great collaborative effort such as this, it's going to be on HTW Network Productions, Mobfi TV. There's going to be a lot of eyes on the product. Adrenaline Sports Academy, Toms River, New Jersey is a great venue that's going to bring together a lot of people, because, if these two are representing Pro Wrestling Magic, who knows, that'll bring in Pro Wrestling Magic fan base that maybe has never seen a Titan Championship Wrestling event. And likewise, Titan Championship Wrestling fans will go see Pro Wrestling Magic events. And, it's a great way for everyone to make out here. And I mean, I haven't seen either of these gentlemen compete in quite a while myself. So to be able to announce the match, and certainly two competitors that I've known for a long time, and they're certainly going to leave it all, in the ring for the fans and their hard-earned dollar. We could very well see a brand new champion. This would be the opportunity Steve Off needs. If he could knock off the champion, that would certainly skyrocket his name throughout the independents. Because as you mentioned earlier, Donovan has been making this junior heavyweight title a staple at Pro Wrestling Magic, and it's been getting as much recognition, as you said earlier, as their world title. So that's saying a lot, and that means he's got that heart, that desire. He doesn't just think of it as a junior title. That he is so dedicated. He wants to make that title, showcase as big as possible. And clearly, by the way you're talking about it, he's done a great job. And I can't wait for him to bring that showcase, as well as Steve Off bring his showcase to Titan Championship Wrestling. It should be one heck of a competitive matchup.
I try to work with as many general managers as possible. We have Shane Fair, we've got Mr. White Henny, Mr. Miguel Sosa, my associate at Project Codename Wrestling, who I also work for there. But why shouldn't we all work together? Why shouldn't we have collaborative efforts? Why shouldn't maybe a Project match show up on Titan? Why can't a Titan match show up at Project? Why can't we show fans in different areas our products, so that maybe the fans want to come down to Bayville? Maybe our fans want to go up to Union or to Ridgefield Park, or wherever anybody's running. Like, let's make independent wrestling in New Jersey a collaborative effort. Let's make everybody entertained. Let's make everybody some money.
Absolutely.
Well, then I definitely love the sound of that, especially the possibilities of a Project match coming over to Titan or vice versa. Definitely a fun time. But let's keep it going here, because there's a matchup I definitely want to talk about. What was that, SP?
Saturday, baby. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's keep it going here. Let's talk about this one here. As we have, again, a man that's been making his waves not only at Titan, but also, like you mentioned, at Project now. It's CMD's own Boom Harden, as he's going to be going head-to-head with the Guiding Lights, AJ Pan's own Ray Kalitri. Also, shout out to AJ Pan, who just celebrated his birthday over the weekend.
We had a little sit-down on Sunday at the home office, me and Mr. AJ Pan.
Ooh, hey, that's always a good time. But again,
and
so SP, did he give you a little bit of his thoughts going into this one? Is his game plan ready for Boom Harden?
He is in his usual bad mood about what we're having Ray do on a show. Ray always thinks he deserves a title shot at every show and thinks he's robbed in every match. And, we've given him chance after chance, and he's come up close, but he's lost. He lost the match last show, which Daniel Alexander won to face Rick Recon. So there was Ray's shot there. But to say that the winner of this match isn't going to be at the top of my list for the next middleweight championship title match would be an understatement. So, Boom's an up-and-comer, but he's got a chance here. If he wins this match, he might get a shot at that middleweight championship, whoever might be the champion. Come Destruction and Devastation, or Devastation and Destruction in June. Pardon me, I have so many shows in my mind. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this match. You could say it's a number one contenders match without calling it a number one contenders match. But these two, the winner of this will definitely be near the top of my list to see who's going to battle for that title and come June. So,
well, then I hope they're definitely listening, because again, that only adds a little more prestige to this matchup. And again, it gives them that desire even more to want to win. Because I can imagine, again, no matter what matchup you're going in, if you're not already with the mindset of I need to win this, then you're in the wrong business. So adding also the chance now of I might be that one step closer to gold has to add even more importance to getting a win here. And again, I'll give it to Ray Kalitri. I saw his last matchup at the last Titan Championship Wrestling event. And on that preview show with Rob, I did happen to say a few words. Then again, if Ray and AJ hear me, they might see me Saturday. I hope they don't hear this. But again, I said it. Maybe his flights, his partying is getting the better of Ray Kalitri. Maybe he's not putting in that work.
The truth, I think, Ray. I mean, I think, it's like Rocky and Rocky 3, even though Ray's not the champion. Traveling all the time, laying on the beach, laying with the honeys, the mamacita in the gold dress, maybe that's become his priority now. Maybe a championship at Titan is not, but we're gonna find out.
That's not the mentality you need to have.
If he can't beat Boom, then he's definitely gonna be going down the ladder, and I don't know what direction his career at Titan's gonna take after that if he loses. So.
And that's definitely it's not something you want. You want to have that mindset ready, because again, if he classifies himself as champion material, you got to be putting in that championship work. Again, preparing for matchups like this. Again, taking every opportunity. Again, he was that close of winning a championship match. But maybe instead of, again, those trips to Egypt and posing everywhere around the world, maybe he needs to sharpen his tools a little bit. Again, hopefully him and AJ aren't listening, or hopefully they are. Again, who knows?
Much wrestling fashion, I think.
That's
Rob Williams' fault.
Rob's fault.
It's Rob's fault.
Well then, but
We all blame
again,
Rob.
hey, definitely again, we'll be seeing Rob as well. Maybe we'll get him to stop getting Ray Kalichi to do all this, and again, focus back on that ring work.
Hey, speaking of Rob, isn't his femme fatale making a slight return this show?
She definitely will. Just give me 1 sec to make sure I have that graphic.
I got him on the spot.
She definitely will.
Graphic, man.
1 second. The craziest thing is I have all the graphics set, and for some reason that one graphic has escaped the system. So just give me 1 sec.
Quick. Can I add a point to the Ray Kalitria boom match?
There you go.
Credit, Ray Kalitri has competed all over the world, and he has had a high success ratio, win to loss ratio everywhere else. So that really says a lot about the competition that Titan Championship Wrestling brings, because he's not winning at the ratio or the rate that he's used to. So maybe this is a leveling out process. I mean, and hey, the man obviously has deep pockets. The Maserati is beautiful. The man loves to live his lifestyle. So nobody should stop the man from living the life that he's been blessed to live. But yes, there comes that responsibility of realizing maybe you need to open your eyes. TCW is maybe not the walk in the park you thought it was going to be. And you know what? He's a great performer. Even in a losing effort, he puts on a phenomenal performance. But ultimately, this business is about winning championships and making even more money. Clearly, he has the money part taken care of. But I'm sure the championships and the accolades would greatly be appreciated by him and his guiding light, AJ Pan, because obviously the more that Ray wins, the higher commission AJ Pan gets in the long run. And that's all I'll say about that.
Definitely. But again, he needs to get back in that mindset. But we'll see if this Saturday, maybe he's finally putting in the work. But let's get into that matchup.
Yeah, he set himself up. By the way, SP, sorry to cut you off real quick. You've set yourself up now for these guys to politic to you to make this a #1 contenders match for the middleweight championship.
They haven't already.
I'm expecting you to now I'm waiting.
They're all politicians, man. They're all politicians.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's what AJ Pan was doing this weekend. He was probably like, he's getting SP some drinks, like, hey, let's put that title shot.
I got images. Let it be stated here. I accepted no gifts from the guiding light. I presented him though with a bottle of Terramana tequila as a show of thanks for being a guiding light to all our professional wrestlers here at Titan.
Hey, there you go. That is the people's tequila right there.
Get really drunk and then put me over on Facebook that night. But listen,
well then, let's keep it going.
Push our show, guys. I gotta run, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I know I'm trying to get Vicky's match on here, but I know you guys will push the hell out of it. Everybody, Saturday night, Adrenaline Sports Academy, 1 South Main Street, Toms River, New Jersey. Come out and see us. Titan Championship Wrestling, Rise of the Titans. Your man SP will be there in the zebra stripes. And what can I say? I'll see you all there.
Definitely see you there, GM. And again, thank you so much for coming on. We'll definitely put over the rest of the show here. Have a good night, brother.
Peace out.
Well then, let's get into this. Let's get into that matchup SP was mentioning. Let's talk about Vivacious Vicious Vicky's return to the Titan Championship Wrestling ring, as she will be taking on KZT. This one again, Vivacious Vicious Vicky's return, but no easy task either. She's going to be taking on KZT, who again has her training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a mixed martial artist. She has shown it in combat and now is going against Vicious Vicky here. Is Vicky going to be ready for this challenge on Saturday?
Well, it's her match to win or lose. It's clear that Titan Championship Wrestling has built up Vicky to be one of their top goddesses in the company, one of their top titans in the company, and the pressure's on her. She has worked very hard, And sometimes when you bust your butt and you wrestle a lot of matches, injuries happen, and that's what happened. She took the time to recuperate both physically and mentally, and she's back. And would you really want her to have like a enhancement match? Somebody just to beat around. KZT, she's the real deal. She brings that stern martial arts background. She's lived a hard life, so she's learned how to survive both outside the ring and inside the ring, and she's been very successful. And this isn't going to be easy. Certainly Vicky's going to have the crowd behind her. The Titan Nation, they know her, they respect her. She was a highly decorated champion, and like I said, when it comes to an athlete's mental standpoint, you're never really going to get a read on that till the bell rings, because any good athlete's going to keep even if you have any bad negative thoughts or lack of confidence, you got to keep that stuff tucked inside. You got to put on a game face. You never want your competition to see weakness. You never want the fans to see weakness, because the fans are coming to see larger than life entities. And you know what, is Vicky going to be ready? Time will tell. Certainly, we saw her briefly last weekend at the 80s convention, and she got in the ring and she told Gabby Ortiz, who's the champion of Tommy Fierro's Fed, that she's coming for that title. So certainly she's in the mental mindset to get back in the title hunt. So we shall see. I certainly think we're going to see a competitive match, but I certainly think that KZT doesn't care about the TCW accolades that Vicious Vicky brings to the ring. And I think KZT's only mental mindset is, I'm coming to kick her ass. And that's the way
definitely. And that's what you want. You want the spirit of competition here. You want both to bring the best they have. And I know, again, Vicious Vicky's looking to get back to where she was. She was holding a championship basically everywhere she went. So I know when she's coming this Saturday, she's definitely looking to, again, be on that rise. Again, the show is perfectly titled here. It's the Rise of the Titans, and every talent on this show is looking to rise in Titan Championship Wrestling. So this is definitely going to be a good one. But let's keep it going here as we have another championship matchup to talk about. Let's talk about that hardcore championship. As again, it's going to be Merc, again, who has been holding this championship with his grasp of just never letting go. Again, I always say thank you for his service, because he's definitely shown, again, that combat training, not only inside but outside of the ring. And he's going to be taking on the Mastodon, who, again, I've seen his stuff. I've done a little bit of research before this Saturday, and he's also he's not it's definitely going to be a combat matchup, because both of these guys are looking to do whatever it takes to hold that TCW Hardcore Championship. And we've seen, again, he's taken on the best that TCW has thrown against him. He's faced the likes of Low Life Louie. He's faced the likes of Cade Lofbrook. He's going against anyone that TCW puts against him, and he's walked out champion time and time again. I don't know if the Mastodon is going to be that guy to take the championship on Saturday. Your thoughts, David?
He defeated Waylon Cage what seems like so long ago to win that hardcore title, and he's never looked back, like you said, taking on and defeating everyone that has been set forth to his feet. Have all challengers. And you mentioned combat before. Mastodon, he's a big bad man with a big bad plan. He comes from central parts unknown-esque Pennsylvania. The guy, he's a bad mofo. He's no joke. I've known him for like 10 years, and this guy has just decimated competitor after competitor, leaving a path of destruction in his wake everywhere he's gone. But Merc, he brings that legitimate combat training, a man who has fought for our country, a man that is a proud member of our armed forces. And Merc has been able to institute that military combat background and accompany it with a professional wrestling skill set. And when you've merged them both together, it makes for one hell of not only a professional wrestler, but a hardcore wrestler. Because in our industry, certainly there is definitely a line. There's deathmatch hardcore wrestling, and there's professional wrestling. And Merc gives you the best of both worlds. And it's been evident, as we just mentioned, he defends that title against anyone. But certainly it could be argued that the Mastodon is his biggest challenge to date, literally and figuratively speaking, have you?
No, definitely. And again, that's what I'm looking forward to see this weekend, because I want to see, can someone finally step up to the plate here? Because again, it hasn't been any small challenge that he's gone against. Merck has faced, again, the likes of Low Life Louie. Like you said, Waylon Cage. He's faced Cade Lofbrook at the last event. And each one has brought something out of Merck. And again, showing that mixture, that perfect mix of combat training with wrestling training. And again, bringing out that hardcore style that he's created his own division here in Titan. He has shown a whole new style in professional wrestling that, again, maybe Mastodon can't be that biggest test, but we'll find out this Saturday. And again, you guys are going to want to be there to see, can the Mastodon finally topple Merck? But again, David, it's time for that favorite time that you like to say, if we have time for that one more matchup here. So, David, are you ready for one more match?
Oh, I know I've got time for one more match. Let's hype it up. The fans have been waiting for it. What you got?
Here we go. It is now time to talk about those TCW Tag Team Championships here, as it will be the defending champions PJ Savage and Ransom, the front line defending against two veterans of the game, two true OGs, as it will be one half of one of the most legendary tag teams, the Hit Squad, former TCW heavyweight champion Monster Mac, teaming up with one half of one of the most dominant and devious tag teams in professional wrestling, Philly's Most Wanted, the Cambodian axe murderer himself, making his TCW debut, Joker. This matchup, I don't even know if the Titan Nation know what they're about to see. The accolades between that one team. David's checking his pulse right now because he wants to know if he's still alive.
I don't know how they got Joker. When I saw this guy's a legit OG. And like you said, both these guys have their own huge tag team accolades outside of teaming with each other. And here, you team these two legendary entities together. I mean, these guys have showcased Jersey All-Pro. These guys have been around for 2+ decades of dominance, destruction. This is one of those instances, and this is no disrespect to PJ Savage and Ransom, because they are two big bad men. They are two phenomenal young upstarts. But in my professional opinion, this is one of those cases where I truly believe that the champions are the legitimate underdogs in this match. And Steve Monster Mac, like you said, he held that TCW heavyweight title for a year. I believe it was a year and 6 days to be exact.
Yep.
And Joker, his reputation precedes himself. So the fact that we got these two teaming up, this is a bona fide main event anywhere in the civilized world today. And this shows you the depth that the TCW tag team division has. Now, Ransom and PJ Savage, they're young, they're hungry, they've been putting the gas in the tank, and they've been driving everywhere, showing everyone up and down the coast, up and down, left to right. They've been showing everyone their craft and who the hell they are. But even them, even if they don't admit it in an interview or a promo, they know deep down inside, this match is the biggest match in their young careers, because they got a lot to prove. They have to prove that they are worthy of being known as one of the most dominant TCW tag teams in history, even though the tag team titles are relatively new to the company. If you can defeat a team like Monster Mac and Joker, you will not just be famous, you will be infamous for knocking off two legendary studs such as them. I just can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be a lot of great timing with both teams. I think are going to have great tag team, double team maneuvers. And I think both teams have a devious side. Clearly the veterans do. I think the young upstarts might bring a little surprise to the ring, because they're going to have to bring all their devious tactics that they have up their sleeves if they have a chance against Mac and Joker. Straight up, bro.
No, definitely. Let's see the comments here, because we got Wes saying he's going with PJ Savage and Ransom. We have Summer Kleinman. They don't want to give an input here because they know, again, how can you pick this one? It's so difficult. But then Okay, for Wes here, Wes saying Steve and Joker never tagging definitely gives Savage and Ransom a little bit of an advantage. But I have to give it to Wes, however, they actually have. They actually have teamed before. I've been lucky to see them team as the Tri-State Saints at Catalyst Championship Wrestling, where they're currently holding Catalyst Wrestling Tag Team Championships, Freebird rule style, with another veteran of the game in Black G's. So this will officially be the first time they tag as a duo. But again, they've had some history. And again, they definitely all know each other very well. Because again, we're talking about decades of experience. And we're talking about two tag team veterans. Again, when you talk about Steve Monster Mac, you have the DHS history. You have Beast Squad history. You have so many pairings. And then when you go with Joker, again, you talk about Blackout. You talk about Philly's Most Wanted. These two guys are true definitions of tag team wrestling. Again, not to take it away either from our current reigning TCW tag team champions. PJ Savage has been taking over the independent circuit with the takeover as well. They've been showing their dominance. Ransom, another young upstart that's been killing it as well everywhere he goes. But again, this is going to be a matchup I can't wait to see. This is going to be one for the ages, and it's going to be possibly the match of the night right here. And again, it's a stacked card, so it's difficult to say which will be match of the night, but this definitely has its high contention right here.
Well, certainly. And this is one of those matches that a young team such as PJ, Savage, and Ransom, they need this match. They need this match like they need oxygen. They need this match so they can prove to any naysayers out there that they are indeed the future. They're worthy of being booked in a match against such high caliber veteran talent. And they need this match for their own mental egos. In the pro wrestling business, I don't know if you guys know this, but pro wrestlers tend to have an ego sometimes. And I don't say that in a derogatory way.
Just a little bit.
You need to win a match like this to clear all doubt, not just in the naysayers, the fans, and management's mind, but in your own mind. But also to say, not to put all the pressure on that this is a must-win match for them. Win, lose, or draw, they need to prove that they can be competitive against Joker and Steve Monster Mac, because it's very rare that the physicality advantage goes to the other team when speaking of the front line, because you don't get much more physical than Ransom and PJ Savage. But as far as overall physicality, I mean, if the champions are here, I have to put the challengers just a smidge up just on pure reputation alone. And Steve Monster Mac in TCW alone has proven that he will go to any length. He will do any and all underhanded tactics to win a match. He'll cut a promo with me afterwards and he'll say, yep, I did it. I don't give a shit. And I would gladly do it again. We saw that in his storied rivalry with Johnny Moran. He didn't care. Ultimately, Johnny Moran did get the better of Steve Monster Mac, but I think he has put in that loss far behind him, and he's focused on other goals now. And now having his long-term brother in arms, his longtime friend and colleague, Joker, here at TCW, making his TCW debut at the Adrenaline Sports Academy, Toms River, New Jersey. Packed house, no doubt a main event caliber match anywhere in the world today. This certainly, at least 40 plus years combined experience between these two, this could be one of those epic matches that if they win, catapults them to the next level in their career, the next chapter in their career. As long as both have been around, certainly haven't really lost any momentum. Still two of the most intense competitors in the history of the game. And if at the end of Rise of the Titans, brought to you by HTW Productions on Mob Fight TV, at the end of the night, Joker and Steve Monster Mac walk out the tag team champions, that's a very dangerous predicament for the rest of the locker room, because as intense as the front line is, these guys a little bit more intense, and certainly who's going to stop them? If the front line can't stop them, who's going to stop them? And that's the question you have to put in your head. The front line has protected us against Warriors of Wrestling and many other foreign entities that many of you don't even know about, keeping our product, in a positive light and protecting the sanctity of our art form against foreign entities. So should be a good one. I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely same. Last thing I'm going to say here, and this definitely should go out for PJ Savage and Ransom. If you look at the last show, that again, you could go check out on Mob 5 TV right now. Look at what Steve Monster Mac did to one of his own brothers. Look at what he did to a friend of so many years in Low Life Louie. Look at what savagery, if you will, he was willing to do to win that ambulance match at Blunt Force Trauma. If you can see what he did to someone he truly cares about, think about what he will do to win those tag team championships this Saturday. Again, this is going to be something that truly is going to resemble those old beatings of Jersey All Pro. Let's hope the Sports Academy doesn't have a free wall this Saturday. That's all I'm going to say. Again, guys, this is an event you have to go check out. Come this weekend to the Adrenaline Sports Academy in Toms River, New Jersey. Rise of the Titans, brought to you by TCW. Again, we've gone over this stacked card. Me and David Adams, also the great GM, SP Anderson. And again, this has been a great preview here. David, before I let you go, though, there's one final question I love to ask everyone that comes on, and I have to ask it to you as well. When it comes to David Adams, what is the end goal in this business for you?
You know what? I mean, the end goal has changed. I mean, my goal hasn't even been fulfilled. My goal is to entertain the fans. My goal is to be respected by my peers. My goal is to be liked by as many people in the business as possible. It's absolutely impossible to be liked by everybody. There's too many different personalities. Not everybody likes each other on a personal level, but I want to be respected by my peers. And even the people that haven't liked me over the years, I want them to at least respect the fact that each and every show I've gone out there and I've given it my all as far as what my job is. And if I go home with a hoarse voice and I can't talk and I got swollen glands, then I know that I did my job. The ultimate end goal is to get that ultimate, at least one of the major companies tell me you're good enough or you're not good enough. Like, I've never had that. I've had a taste of the big leagues for a weekend and it tasted good. The pay was nice, but I was never told I'm not good enough to do this on a full-time basis. It was just one of those opportunities to fill in. I got to announce at the ECW arena for Impact Wrestling. It was so cool. It was a great weekend. I got to announce with my home, with one of my home fits, House of Glory, merging with Impact Wrestling. There was a whole weekend of doing it. Ultimately, I would love, it's tough because there's only so many announcers and there's contracts and people already have gigs. But I mean, I would love to get a look at one of the major companies, whether it's Ring of Honor, or AEW, or WWE. I would also my goal is, I would love to be an American announcer spokesman for New Japan Pro Wrestling. I mean, they just recently had that product in Philadelphia. It looked amazing. And I'm sure there's already English speaking announcers that are there, whether it's commentary, whether it's ring announcing. But yeah, just getting a look. That's all. I think I'm just going to keep doing my thing, but you can only rely on hopes and dreams for so long. The reality of the moment is that I'm booked at a lot of great independent promotions. I work with a lot of great talent that's hungry like me, young and older veterans. We all have that same goal, eye on the prize, and we all want to be able to pay our bills doing our craft. And I get it doesn't happen for everybody. And with every year that goes by, you get a little bit older and more young upstarts come up the chain. And that's just the nature of life. But yeah, I was like, until somebody tells me you're not good enough for the next level, I think that's what it is. The dream isn't to get hired by a major company. The dream is to get that ultimate tryout and then get told, hey, you're good or you're not good. So far I've gotten a taste of it and I'm still hungry. So that's good. As long as you're still hungry for it, then I think that's the most important thing. And definitely looking forward to seeing, where the next chapter of my career goes. Certainly they keep feeding me some great talent, some of the best talent in the world to announce wherever I go. So Titan Championship Wrestling, no different. And I've been with them, since the inception. So certainly Charlie puts on one heck of an event, and this one should be good Saturday, folks. Come on down to the Adrenaline Sports Academy, Main Street in Toms River, New Jersey. My man's got that graphic ready. Whoop, whoop.
No, definitely. And again,
I think,
David,
buddy,
I'll give you
you're
that.
having fun doing this. You keep doing the damn thing, as a wise man once told me.
Thank you, brother. And definitely, it's always a pleasure to see you. And definitely keep doing what you do. Because again, it's always a great time when you hear David Adams behind that mic, ring announcing the whole night and giving us that amazing voice that you bring to the ring. So definitely, guys, once again, go follow David Adams on his social media. Go support right here on Instagram, right there. Go follow him on Twitter. And also, go follow the company we've been talking about all night right here. Go follow TCW. Go follow them on Instagram, _TC Wrestling. Go follow them on Twitter right there at Titan Champions 1. Also, he was on for a little bit as well. Go follow the GM. Go follow SP on Instagram right there, SP the referee. And again, go support independent wrestling. Be there Saturday because we definitely will be. And come check out a stacked card in Toms River, New Jersey. David, thank you so much for coming on again. This is definitely going to be a great event this Saturday, and it's going to be great getting to see you. So here we go, guys. Once again, as always, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people, and as always, respect the craft. We'll see you guys on the next one.